දුවේ පුතේ අපිට තියෙන grade 8 second term test එකට අදාළ නිගම්බෝ education zone එකේ paper එක discuss කරන්න අද ඔයගොල්ලෝ paper එක කරලා තියෙන්නේ මම discuss කරන්න යනවා බලමු අපි corrections ටික කරගන්න right look at the first term question number 1 first question write the next two terms of the number pattern you want to write the next two terms of this number pattern first one what is the first term 20 17 14 11 what is the relationship between these two terms the second term is formed subtracting 3 from the first term no look at the third term this third term also formed subtracting 3 from the second term so the common difference is minus 3 now when we subtract 3 from 11 the answer is 8 8 so again to find the next term we have to subtract another 3 from 8 so the answer is 5 these are the two terms okay look at the question number 2 solve the equation 2x plus 1 equals 7 2x plus 1 equals 7 we want to find the value for this x first we can subtract we can remove this plus 1 from this side so 2x plus 1 minus 1 equal 7 minus 1 then 2x equal 6 now to remove this 2 we can divide both sides by 2 then x equal how many 2 for 6 3 the answer is 3 x equal 3 find the value of minus 7 minus plus 2 we have to subtract plus 2 from minus 7 we want to subtract no so when we have to subtract we can add the additive inverse of the value after the minus sign that is the method to find the answer so how to write it minus 7 plus what is the additive inverse plus 2 additive inverse plus of plus 2 is minus 2 no additive inverse of plus 2 is minus 2 additive inverse means we have to change the sign of the value now minus 7 plus minus 2 minus 7 plus minus 2 both are minus values so we can add them minus 9 the answer is minus 9 answer is minus 9 right that is the answer okay next look at the question number 4 express the shaded fraction as a percentage so first we have to write the shaded part as a fraction there are 1 2 3 4 5 it divided to 5 equal parts and 2 of them shaded right so the shaded portion is 2 over 5 now how to write it as a percentage we can multiply that by 100% that is the method so 5 to 1 how many 5 for 100 10 to 2 and we can write 0 here so 2 into 20 equal 40% 40% that is the shaded percentage of the figure then look at the question number 5 if the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 24 centimeter find the length of one side that 2 is 1 equilateral triangle means the triangle which is all the sides are equal in length so if this one if this length is x plus x so we can write it 3x equal 24 3x equal 24 then to find the value of x we can divide both sides by 3 now x equal how many 3 for 24 8 centimeters the side length of the equilateral triangle is 8 centimeters okay so when the time in Sri Lanka is 7 a.m. find the time in Melbourne in Australia the time zone of Sri Lanka is plus 5.5 and the time zone of Melbourne is +10. We know we can draw a time zone line. Here 0, Greenwich time. So now in Sri Lanka, +5.5. Sri Lanka is in +5.5. So what is the time in Sri Lanka? 7 a.m. 7 a.m. We want to find the time in Melbourne at that time. Melbourne in +10 time zone. So we know when we go to the plus side of the timeline, we have to add 1 hour for 1 unit. 1 hour for 1 unit. So now we are in now 5.5. In 5.5 the time is 7 a.m. So then next 5.5 is +6. We can write it as +6. So the time is in +6. We can add 30 minutes. That means half of hours to this time. 7:30 a.m. When we write it in standard form, 7:30 a.m. So now we have to go another 4 point to the +10. That means we have to add 4 hours to that time to find the time in +10 time zone. So 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 and 11:30. So the time is in the Melbourne in that now in 11:30. So the time is, we can write 11:30 a.m. anti-meridian. Right? Got it? Too easy one. Now look at the question number 7. Choose the null sets and underline. Null set means sets which haven't any elements. Null set. ඒ කියන්නේ null set වලට elements මොනවත්ම නැහැ. elements නැති ඒවා තමයි null set කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒක දන්නවා කතා කරලා තියෙනවා. So look at the first one. Multiples of 20 between 0 and 10. 0 and 10. Are there any multiples of 20 between 10 and 0 and 10? First, what are the multiples of 20? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. These are the multiples of 20. So, multiples of 20 between 0 and 10, it's a null set because no any multiples of 20 between 0 and 10. Look at that. Polygons with less than 10 sides. Polygons with less than 10 sides. The least number of sides of a polygon is 3. We know that. It's a triangle, right? In a triangle, there are 3 sides. So, polygons with less than 10 sides, it's a set because there are elements in that set. People who are taller than 5 meters. People who are taller than 5 meters. 5 meters means meter pahak. කොච්චරක් උසයිද? 5 meters at about 10 feet. Sorry, 15 feet. අඩි 15ක් විතර. එච්චර උසයි නෑනේ. එහෙනම් මෙයා මොකද්ද? This one also a null set, right? Vowels of the English alphabet. English alphabet එකේ මොනවද? vowels තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් මෙයා null set එකක් නෙවෙයි, right? Do you understand that? Okay. Then look at the question number 8. Find the value of square root 225. So first we have to write this 225 as a product of prime factors. To find that, we have to divide 225 by prime numbers. 225 divide 225. Try to divide that by prime numbers. This one divisible by 5. So how many 5 are there in 225? 22 to 4, 2 remaining, and 5 again, 2 and 5, 25 to 5, 5, no? Then again 45 is divisible by 5. We can divide 45 by 5, 9. 9 is divisible by 3. Yes, 3. Again 3 is divisible by 3, 1. So now we can write 225 as the product of these prime numbers. 5 into 5 into 3 into 3. 5 into 5 into 3 into 3. Now 5 into 5 we can write as 5 square, and 3 into 3, 3 into 3 we can write as 3 square. Then consider the square root. Now we can write it square root of, that is the product of powers. We can write it as a power of a product. We can write it as a power of a product. So 5 into 3 to the power 2. No. Now we can remove the square root and square at once. So 5 into 3 equal 15. That is the answer of 225. Square root 225. Now draw a circle around the supplementary angles and box around the complementary angles. What are the supplementary angles? Supplementary angles. What are the supplementary angles? Supplementary means if the sum of two angles equal to 180 degrees, they are supplementary angles. So complementary angles. What are the complementary angles? Complementary angles means if the sum of two angles equal to 90 degrees, they are complementary angles. So we want to find the supplementary of 25. Find the supplement of 25. We have to subtract 25 from 180. 10 minus 5, 5, 1 here remaining 7, 7 minus 2, 5 and 1, 155 degrees. So we have to draw circle. That is the supplement, right? Supplement of 25. So then complementary angles. Complementary angle. How to find the complement? Complement of 25. To find the complement, we have to subtract 25 from 90. Now 10 minus 5, 5, here remaining 8, 8 minus 2, 6, 65. 65 is the complement of 25. We have to draw box around 65, right? Okay, next look at the question number 10. Find the perimeter of the triangle given. We want to find the perimeter of this triangle. How to find the perimeter? Perimeter means the sum of length of outer boundaries of the triangle. What are the length of sides? 8 plus this one, 10 plus that length is 7 centimeters. Now 8 plus 10, 18, 18 plus 7, 25 centimeters. The perimeter of the figure is 25 centimeters. Next one, question number 11. Find the value of the algebraic expression 2a minus 3b when a equal 2 and b equal 4. We can substitute values for that. 8 into, what is the value of a? 2 minus 3 into, what is the value of b? 4. 8 into 2, 16 minus 3 into 4, 12. 16 minus 12, 4. That is the answer. Now, question number 12. Expressed in index form. What are the values here? 2 and 2. 2 into 2, we can write it as 2 to the power 2, if not 2 square, into, then a. How many a's there? 3. So we can write it as a to the power 3. Then b. B to the power 2. So we can write it 2 squared a to the power 3 b squared. That is the answer. Okay, next one. Question number 13. Write in metric tons and kilograms. 2.05 ton. How many kilograms are there in 1 ton? 1 ton equal 1000 kilograms. So, to convert that into ton and kilogram, first we can multiply 2.05 by 1000. Now, when we multiply that by 1000, this decimal point should go backward 3 digits. That means 2050. 2050 kilogram. 2000 equal to 2 ton. So that equal 2 ton and remaining 50 kilograms. 2 ton and 50 kilograms. That is the answer for that. Okay. Look at the question number 40. There are 20 boys and 25 girls in a class. Write the ratio between number of boys and girls in the simplest form. So, we have to write the ratio between number of boys to girls. So, we have to write boys to girls. Boys to girls. How many boys there? 20. 22. How many girls? 25. So, we have to write in simplest form now. So, when we divide that by 5, 4 to 5, that is the simplest form. That is the simplest form. Okay, look at the question number 15. If 25 into 12 equal 300, find the value of 2.5 into 1.2. So, how to write the answer for that? How many decimal places it has? It has 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So, we have to allocate 2 decimal places for the answer also. 300 no. When we multiply them without consider the decimal point, 25 into 12 no. So, there are 2 decimal places. So, we have to allocate 2 decimal places. So, the answer is 3.00. You can write it as answer only 3. Factorize. Factorize means we have to find the common terms or common values. 5x plus 10y. What is the common value? Common value is 5. Take 5 to the outside. When we take 5 to the outside, x plus 2y. X plus 2y. That's the answer, right? Okay. Look at the question number 17. Question number 17. Select the plane figures with bilateral symmetry but without rotational symmetry. We know that figure. Select the plane figure with bilateral symmetry but without rotational symmetry. It has bilateral symmetry but without rotational symmetry. There's a small question mistake in this question. No, select the plane figure with bilateral symmetry but without rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry එකක් නැති bilateral symmetry එකක් තියෙන figure එකක් ගැන අපෙන් අහන්නේ question එකේ. හැබැයි එහෙම ඒවා නෑ නේද? Regular pentagon එකට bilateral symmetry එකකුත් තියෙනවා. Bilateral symmetric axis පහක් තියෙනවා. Rotational symmetric එකකුත් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ order of the rotational symmetry is 5. Parallelogram එකට bilateral symmetry එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි යාට rotational symmetry එකක් තියෙනවා. Rotational symmetry order of the rotational symmetry is 2. Rhombus it has bilateral symmetry as well as rotational symmetry. එහෙනම් question එක මෙහෙම change වුණා නම් හරි. Select the plane figure with bilateral symmetry but without rotational symmetry කියන එකට question එක change වෙලා තිබ්බනම් select the plane figure with rotational symmetry without bilateral symmetry කියලා තිබ්බොත් parallelogram කියන එක අපිට answer එකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මෙතනදී මේ answer එකේ පොඩි mistake එකක් තියෙනවා, right? ඒක වෙන් කරලා තියන්න. Right. Look at the question number 18. Simplify. we have to multiply. So we can numerate as together 3 into 2, 6, 5 into 7, 35. That is the simplest form. We can't simplify that more. So that is the answer. Next, write the shape of one face of a triangle, a regular octahedron. Octahedron. Octahedron means how many faces it has. Octahedron. How to draw that? Octahedron. Octahedron means we can draw octahedron like that. So when it is a regular octahedron, what is the shape? Equilateral triangle. It's a triangular face. So when it is regular octahedron, equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. Then find the value of y. Look at that figure. Y. Y are exterior angle of this triangle. We know the sum of exterior angle of any polygon. The sum of exterior angles of any polygon is 360. So we can write it y plus y equal 360 degrees. 3y. 3y equal 360. So when we divide by 3, y equal 120 degrees. That is the answer, right? These are the first 20 questions of this paper. We will meet again in the second part of the question, right? Thank you.